All right, let's dive into something that's really got me thinking. We're going to be looking at Flickr, that platform that's been around forever. It seems like it still has a really dedicated group of photography fans.
It really does.
And the person we're focusing on today is Tracy Prince. She's got over 5,600 followers, and get this, 37 million views.
Wow.
That's a lot of views for anybody, but here's the crazy thing. She's only posted 554 photos.
Yeah, that is interesting. When you compare that number of views to her number of photos, it is unusual.
Totally. Most people with that many views have thousands and thousands of photos up. Right?
Usually.
So Tracy joined Flickr in 2007, but just started posting photos in 2022. It's like, where was she all that time?
Right. What was she doing? And then what is it about those photos that's attracting so many views?
Yeah, exactly. It's like she came out of nowhere and boom, everyone's hooked.
Yeah.
So on her profile, she describes herself as having that je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais quoi.
What does that even mean?
Literally, it means I don't know what, but you use it to describe that certain something that, how do you say, that quality you can't quite put your finger on, but it makes someone just so magnetic.
Okay, so she's got this air of mystery, but then you look at her photos and they aren't, superposed or anything like that. She's not trying too hard. In fact, she really emphasizes smiling. She even encourages other women to smile more in their pictures, saying it can really make a big difference.
It's like she's intentionally doing the opposite of what we usually see online. There's so much pressure to look perfect, to have this really polished image, almost to the point that you look untouchable.
Right.
And Tracy's going for that je ne sais quoi thing. Like, it's fine to not be perfect, Be relatable.
Yeah.
And emphasizing smiling, that's pretty powerful.
It is, because we're surrounded by all these serious selfies and, everything's got to be perfect on social media. So when you see a real smile, it's refreshing.
Yeah.
It's disarming. You feel like you could actually know this person.
Totally.
Like she's someone you'd want to grab coffee with.
And that really gets at something we see with a lot of popular people online. It's not just what they're posting, but the kind of personality that comes through. They become relatable, like someone you could have a normal conversation with.
Totally. And with Tracy, that girl next door vibe really comes through.
It does.
And that's a classic for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's known a girl next door, that person who is easy to talk to and down to earth.
Yeah, it makes you think of someone familiar and comfortable, and it kind of goes against those crazy beauty standards you see all over social media, so people feel like they can relate to it.
It's like she's realized that being genuine is actually way more attractive than trying to be perfect. And she became popular so fast. 5 million views in just 9 months. And then boom, 37 million in 33 months.
Yeah. That quick growth really shows she's doing something right. It can't just be pretty pictures. It's about connecting with people on a deeper level.
And people are really connecting with her. I was reading through the comments on her pictures, and it's incredible how many people use words like beautiful, gorgeous, obviously, but also sweet, stylish, even elegant.
Right. Those words say a lot. Beautiful and gorgeous, sure, but then you've got sweet and elegant, too. It's like they're seeing more than just how she looks.
Yeah.
It's like they're picking up on that je ne sais quoi we were talking about, that mix of being approachable and genuinely warm. It shines through in her photos.
Exactly. That's what makes this deep dive so interesting to me. How does she do it?
Yeah.
How does she create that connection just through photos? We're going to have to look closer at those photos.
Right.
And I'm really curious to hear what you think about this girl next door angle. Is that something she's doing on purpose? Or is it just part of who she is?
Those are really good questions. Let's take a look at the pictures themselves.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. When you look through Tracy's photo stream on Flickr, it's pretty amazing how much variety there is. She's got portraits and travel photos, nature scenes, even some abstract stuff. But it doesn't matter what she's taking a picture of. There's always this warmth and approachability.
It does feel like she's inviting you in, like she's sharing these moments with a friend. And it is interesting you mentioned the variety because, a lot of photographers, especially online, they kind of stick to one style.
Yeah, they find their niche.
Their niche, right.
Yeah.
But Tracy seems totally fine with exploring all these different types of photography, different ways of seeing things.
Yeah, and that shows a certain confidence, Like she's willing to try new things and not worry about labels.
Right.
And it also helps her be more relatable, too. It's not like she's just a portrait photographer or a landscape photographer. She just likes beauty in all its forms.
It makes her seem more like a real person, not just someone she created for the internet. And speaking of real, she's smiling right at the camera in a ton of her photos.
Yeah.
It's almost like she's making eye contact with you. Like she knows you're there looking at the picture.
That's a really cool technique,
Yeah.
because photography can feel really impersonal.
Yeah.
But when she does that, it creates this connection, like you're sharing that moment with her. It's that girl next door thing again. She's not trying to be someone she's not. She's just being herself, and she's letting you in.
And she does it without looking awkward or uncomfortable at all.
It's true.
Her smile seems so natural, so genuinely warm.
And that's harder to do than you might think.
Yeah, for sure.
It takes some serious self-awareness and confidence to be that open and vulnerable in front of a camera.
It's like she's saying, this is me, like it or don't. And obviously people love it. 37 million views. That didn't happen by accident.
No, definitely not. It proves that being genuine is really powerful. Everyone's trying so hard to be perfect.
Yeah.
And then here's Tracy, totally fine with her imperfections, and people are drawn to that.
You know, it's funny. I was reading this article about the psychology behind how we present ourselves online. And it was talking about how people are really attracted to people who seem genuine and relatable. It's like we can tell when someone is trying too hard or faking it.
Yeah.
But with Tracy, you get the feeling that what you see is what you get.
And that's so refreshing.
Yeah.
It's like a breath of fresh air. Everything online feels so fake and perfect.
Right.
And it's not just how she smiles, it's her whole style of photography, too.
How so?
Well, look at how she uses light. She often shoots in natural light, which creates this softer, more intimate mood.
Okay.
And her compositions are pretty simple. She's focused on capturing a feeling or a moment, not trying to be super artistic or complicated.
That makes sense. It's like she's not showing off her technical skills. She just wants to share something beautiful or something that meant something to her.
Right.
And it's that simplicity, not being pretentious, that makes her pictures so great.
Exactly. It's the difference between making art and just noticing the beauty in life.
I see what you mean.
And I think that's what really speaks to people. They see themselves in her photos. They feel connected to what she's experiencing, and they appreciate her sharing it all in such an authentic way.
It goes back to that girl next door idea. She's not trying to be a model or a fashion person or anything.
Right.
She's just being herself.
Yeah.
And that's why people relate to her and like her so much.
And that's a big reason why she's so successful. It's a good reminder that sometimes the most powerful connections come from keeping things simple, from being honest and genuinely wanting to connect with people.
But it's interesting, though, because she's definitely put some thought into how she presents herself online.
For sure.
It's like she created this persona, this image.
Yeah.
But it feels real, not fake.
And that's the tricky part. You got to find that balance between being intentional but still being true to yourself.
Right.
It's not about pretending to be someone else. It's about figuring out what parts of your personality people will connect with and making those shine.
That's a really great point. You know, we're always being told who we should be.
Yeah, it's everywhere you look.
So it's kind of freeing to see someone like Tracy who is just comfortable with who she is.
Definitely.
And she's successful because of it.
It reminds us that being authentic isn't just a good thing. It can really help you succeed.
I like that.
It helps us connect with people more deeply, to build trust, and to do something that actually means something.
That's a really great way to put it. And in Tracy's case, it's helped her get millions of views and a bunch of loyal followers. It's pretty inspiring.
It is. It reminds us that sometimes the simplest things are the most powerful. A real smile, being vulnerable, wanting to connect with other people. Those are the things that really matter in a world that's obsessed with how things look and being perfect.
So what does all of this mean for someone listening to us right now? What can we learn from Tracy's story?
Well, I think there are a few things to take away from this. First, being authentic matters. People can tell when you're being real, and they like that. Second, don't be afraid to just be yourself. Be proud of your quirks and your flaws and your own way of seeing things. And third, remember that connecting with people is really important.
Right.
The world can feel really lonely, so find ways to connect with other people in a real way.
Those are great things to remember. And, you know, it's not just about how you present yourself online or whether you're popular on social media.
Yeah, it's bigger than that.
These are things you can use in every part of your life.
Totally. Being authentic, liking who you are, and connecting with people, those are the building blocks for having good relationships, a good job, and finding your purpose in life.
I couldn't agree more. So I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive into the world of Tracy Prince. It's been really cool to look at how she does photography, how she presents herself online, and why she's so successful.
It's been great.
Yeah. And as we finish this episode, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Yeah.
The world can feel really overwhelming and chaotic sometimes.
Mm.
But sometimes the simplest things can make all the difference, like a real smile, a kind word, or a moment of shared beauty.
And I think if Tracy Prince's story has taught us anything,
Yeah.
it's that those simple things have the power to bring us together, to inspire us, and to remind us of all the beauty around us.
It really is amazing, how someone can reach so many people just through pictures. And Tracy's story proves that you don't need fancy cameras or a ton of money to make a difference.
That's so true.
It's all about creating things that feel genuine, things that people connect with on a personal level.
Right, it cuts through all the noise.
Yeah, like she's figured out how to tap into that human need to connect and belong,
Yeah,
which is pretty powerful, especially in a world that's becoming so digital and sometimes feels really isolating.
absolutely. Tracy, being so successful on Flickr, it really shows how strong human connection is, even online.
And it's inspiring to see someone like her do so well just by being herself, you know, embracing that girl next door persona and sharing her way of seeing things with everyone.
Totally. It challenges that idea that you have to be extraordinary or famous or something to make a real impact.
Right.
Sometimes it's those ordinary, everyday moments that really connect with people.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Tracy Prince and her, Flickr stardom, I think the big question is this. In a world that's obsessed with perfect pictures and unrealistic standards, could Tracy's genuine smile and approachable beauty be the reason she connects with so many people?
That's a really interesting question.
Yeah, it makes you think,
It
right?
does. Maybe in a world that feels kind of fake and overwhelming, we all just want something more authentic, something real.
Maybe Tracy's success is showing us that being genuine, being approachable, and wanting to connect with people on a human level, maybe those are the keys to success, both online and in real life.
And maybe it reminds us that we don't have to try to be perfect to be liked and admired. Sometimes the strongest connections come from being simple, honest, and wanting to share our unique point of view with the world.
That's beautifully said. So if you're curious and want to see what all the fuss is about, go check out Tracy's Flickr art page. You might be surprised by what you find. Until next time, keep exploring, keep connecting, and keep embracing the beauty of the unexpected.